Does the chemical industry make sure their products are safe before releasing them to the public?
The answer is there is no evidence that the chemical industry makes sure their products are safe. It's the other way around. The science shows that the testing for pesticides is completely inadequate to ensure safety. And one of the things I will say very, very clearly, in the peer-reviewed literature, which is the gold standard of science, there is not one scientific paper that shows the safety of one pesticide for children. So the answer is no, they don't show their products are safe.
Is it true that only 1 in 4 food samples tested contained 0 pesticide residues?
Actually, no, it's not true, because it's a lot less than that, because if you look at the testing done by the US government and others, they don't test every pesticide and their breakdown products. As yet, I have seen no actual test for every pesticide. So when you have a test and you only test for, say, 20% of what can be tested, how do you know the 1 in 4 is pesticide free? The more pesticides we test for, the more pesticides we find. The other thing that I think is really important, it's the level of testing. Now that we're going, before they used to test at parts per million, which is the regulatory level, but when we start testing at parts per billion and parts per trillion, it's virtually impossible to find any food, any conventional food, without multiple residues.
Is it true that we should just trust the pesticide industry and that they have everything under control?
Oh yes, just, you can trust them so much, like you could trust them over PCBs, you could trust them over Agent Orange, you could trust them over DDT. Oh yes, they've got such a good history of never lying and always telling the truth. Honestly, this is like putting the foxes in charge of the hen house. This is why we need a truly transparent system that's based on independent scientists, and where we need good peer-reviewed publications in reputable scientific journals. And to explain peer review, this is where researchers will write up their scientific paper and they submit it to a recognized journal that specializes in this subject. Now that journal will then send that paper to usually 3 experts, and this is a blind process. The researchers won't know these experts to keep the process, so there's no what's the word, collaboration. And these experts will then check it for accuracy, and they might have comments, and the paper is reworked, and then it's published. And that means that all interested people now can read that paper and check it. So that is the gold standard that should be used. However, the regulatory authorities, rather than using these gold standards, the pesticide authorities ask the pesticide companies to submit their research. But if we want to see those papers, we can't. They are hidden. So only the pesticide regulators can look at the material submitted by the pesticide companies, and in many cases the committees that make these decisions actually have people who receive income from the pesticide companies sitting around making these decisions. That is not an open and transparent system. That is a standard system of corruption. So you can't trust them. When we want to get these papers, they are denied. So I'll give you a very good example. The World Health Organization classified glyphosate, the active ingredient of Roundup, as a carcinogen. It causes cancer, especially non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in people. Now, the pesticide regulator here in the US said, oh, our studies show it doesn't cause cancer. So we say, okay, show us the study. And they won't. Now, there's now been 3 court cases. Monsanto got sued for billions, lost billions. The judges turned it back to hundreds of millions. Now, in that court case, Monsanto kept on saying, oh, look, you know, it doesn't cause cancer, and our studies prove it. But they would not submit their studies to the court case because they say, oh, no, it's commercial in confidence. But if you're being sued for hundreds of millions of dollars and you believe that you're innocent and you have evidence to prove that you're innocent, wouldn't you submit it? So what are they trying to hide? That's what I want to ask. And I can tell you where these studies have been leaked to us, and they do get leaked, we find more evidence of harm. Not that they're harmless, they are actually more dangerous.